Hello everyone. Gary wanted to give me a chance to ask my question regarding post-treatment bias in Garrett as presented in King, Thoms, and Wittenberg, sort of in person. Garrett finds that in countries where the left is strong, that is, strong leftist parties and trade unions, globalization leads to greater government spending as a percentage of GDP, and the opposite is true where the left and labor are weak. This is against the conventional wisdom that market globalization has forced governments to cut expenditures. For his dataset, Garrett put together a panel of economic and political variables measured annually for 14 countries over 25 years. Taking a look at his model, Garrett uses a linear normal regression where the unit of analysis is the country year, the dependent variable is government spending as a percentage of GDP, the treatment variable is left labor power. The controlled variables are trade as a percentage of GDP and capital mobility. Garrett examines low and high levels of these two variables against high and low of the left variable. And there are several other variables such as interaction terms of capital and left, trade and left, business cycle, etc. Now, in discussing Garrett's paper, King, Thoms, and Wittenberg finds that left labor power has a significant effect only when exposure to trade or capital mobility is high. The paper finds that Garrett's claim that left outspends the right at low levels of market integration is probably attributed to chance alone. I think though that neither model can accurately estimate the effect of left when in power on spending because of the presence of bias. Initially, and the way I posted the question on the list, I thought it was post-treatment bias. I said that Garrett could be correct because richer countries tend to have a more open economy, and also in these countries, the left, when in power, can spend more because they have more, the resources are there. Contrary to the conclusion of King, Thoms, and Wittenberg, I think that the left would outspend the right regardless of market openness. Although it may appear as a matter of chance at low levels of market integration, it is more because in poorer countries where we would expect lower market integration, the left cannot spend as much as it wants. Now, after reading King and Zeng, I believe that we have the presence of both omitted and post-treatment bias, and just as King and Zeng suggests, the two biases should be considered together. Garrett's model may suffer from omitted variable bias if it does not control for GDP, and GDP is related to spending and left labor power, as well to trade and capital mobility. However, if Garrett controls for GDP, GDP may be post-treatment because left could also affect GDP. Many would argue that left governments may affect GDP negatively.